War over consciousness. There is a battle between the forces of darkness and light for the control of this planet and the human consciousness, as well as control over the use of the human body and DNA. Recently, spiritual warfare has escalated in the worldscape, and those awakened people that are connected to the planetary conscious body are able to feel the intense pressure we are enduring as this battle rages on in the interdimensional planes, and at the moment, hidden from mainstream media and in most people's awareness to realize that the events transpiring in the world involve a massive war over controlling the consciousness of the humans on this planet. The players are human and non human and involve the hierarchy of control that extends way beyond the planetary control mechanism of the power elite. As we are provided dispensations that allow us to embody divine energy in physical form and move through planetary awareness towards the higher light and higher consciousness in the next harmonic universe. The survival and force of the darkness and its artificial intelligent control networks on this planet is threatened. Most of these artificial intelligence software systems installed in the planetary consciousness body explicitly rely on the matter fields vibrating at certain parameters of low frequency in order to maintain their invisibility within the human visible light spectrum. As these lower dimensions roll up into the next harmonic scale, these dark forces, their agendas, such as the mainstreaming of Satanism, become more and more visible and clear to the people of Earth, who are starting to see the clear evidence of the crimes against humanity and humanity's children. Those in positions of power have been put there explicitly because of their consent and willingness to carry out the crimes against humanity on behalf of the negative alien agenda. In exchange for money, resources, power, temporary life extension, and immortality, and control over the rest of the humans. Some have been told that they will be escorted to safety onto other planets when and if disclosure events happen on a mass scale. During this time of shift into the higher consciousness realms of the next harmonic universe, the resultant need to create new paradigms that support the recognition of value for all human beings and all life itself. There are new multidimensional challenges for those humans that are taking a conscious, proactive, and leading role in their own evolution and the evolution of the planet. These challenges come in many forms, including psychic attacks, artificial intelligence trackers, negative implants, tags, and dark entities that that direct interference in order to diminish the quality of our energetic resources, physical vitality, and optimum functioning by harvesting and utilizing our precious resources. Hence, suppressing our ability to perceive greater realities of truth and live our maximum soul's potential of experiencing spiritual fulfillment, sovereignty, and freedom on the earth plane. During the evolutionary process of one's awakening and remembrance of the soul's blueprint and contracts, the more conscious and ascended beings take back their sovereignty and live in accordance with the laws of the Creator rather than man made laws, thereby transcending the dark tyranny and existing in alignment to the high frequency of living light. As a result of living in the light, these humans, through their actions, influence and guide others to the light and truth, thereby exponentially increasing the power of the light and the truth in this world, and diminishing the power of tyrannical control that the darkness uses to keep people in bondage and servitude. Those awakening to remember themselves as multidimensional light beings and becoming a part of the collective starseed grid network on this planet tend to be the targets for these dark forces and their technologies, such as methods used for electronic harassment. The energy of a highly conscious human being creates a frequency signal that activates the radar screen of awareness at the center of control for dark consciousness. Once on their radar screen of darkness, darkness places a tag, artifact, attachment, or cord on the enlightened being to track them and determine if they are a threat to the survival of the ego predator mind and the type of self awareness that the darkness represents as a consciousness. The forces of darkness include many broad streams of sentient beings that are trapped in the planetary consciousness body, and they exist as spiritual forces that are locked into time and matter, unable to evolve until humanity stops feeding them. It is important to understand that the forces of Satanism are not intellectual forces as claimed by the atheists behind the Church of Satan, but they encompass a massive hierarchy of darkly primitive conscious beings. Many of these forces can be described by an energetic signature that directly connects them with fallen angelics, watchers, such as the Baphomet or Leviathan fields. These collective satanic forces make up collective consciousness streams that then can be connected to demonic bodies or generated to create more groupings of satanic hierarchy in the earth. These forces can hop into a human vessel that is unaware, weakened, and mind controlled by the consent of a satanic vibration. These satanic beings exist at different levels of darkness and depravity, however. They operate together as a collective consciousness force that is directed by off planet entities that are higher and more powerful in the satanic chain of command. Satanic forces are not sovereign entities. They are parasitic and need human energy to exist. They can appear human or not human as negative alien bodies, and they are trapped in the matter fields or low densities, unable to evolve beyond the bondage and servitude to the earth plane. And they are slaves to those dark forces that are higher on the food chain. Spiritual warfare. Those of us committed to the law of one to promote sovereignty and freedom for this planet and humanity have more grid and energetic support than we have ever had. If we have had possession, implant, and entity harassment, the spiritual deliverance technique should offer some relief with some level of commitment to the process. We must remember we have returned to this earth to master ourselves and master these fallen angelic entities and the negative energies here. This requires that we learn exactly how these dark entities think, what their strategies are, where they come from, and how they infiltrated this planet. We are in a war over consciousness that requires that we master the psycho spiritual warfare being directed towards humanity. In many cases, this will require that we directly experience alien implants, entities, psychic attacks, and forms of alien aggression. We cannot heal the consciousness of our planet until we understand exactly how it became corrupted with the reptilian virus and synthetic alien machinery. Please have patience with this process and command your space as a God sovereign free GSF being. As a part of the human race and other ET races, we all have contributed and participated in several levels of this planetary experience via experiments in the development of human consciousness at various timelines and evolution cycles. In each time cycle, a level of root race, or aka 12 tribes, had a particular purpose in its exploration of consciousness and assembling a strand of DNA. Each worked in its own way with the genetic DNA advancement of the human species and its relationship to the school of planet Earth. Each root race, as a collective, had a mission to assemble certain DNA strands and qualities. Each seeding mission programmed certain experiences designed to clear various miasma distortions or karma created from other timelines of genetic destruction. Within certain potential timeline cycles, humanity was spiritually prepared to achieve greater and greater levels of enlightenment and ultimately become fully connected, powerful, multi dimensional God beings of crystal star design. The divine birthright of the human angel was to play in the dualistic worlds of polarity, to experience the lower form worlds of creation, among a litany of other experiences as consciousness experiencing itself in a physical playground. Ultimately, we were to return to Source and assume, with our new multidimensional consciousness maturity, the stewardship of this planet into cosmic citizenship. As we integrate all these levels of the root races and their DNA genetic memories, we are called upon to become aware of these core fears and distortions that are processing and healing. These core fears are implanted and anchored in the planetary grid network and the cellular matrix memory of the planetary bodies. They are being processed through our own bioenergetic and physical selves as we grow through this current evolutionary process of ascension. Evolution. As we transition from one root race to another, these species factors, such as the physiological functions of the human body, are rapidly responding to the massive alterations that are occurring in the Earth body. This means that the collective human blueprint and human bodies are responding to the impending biological evolution that is required as a result of the planet's structural shift. The current evolutionary pressures are causing energy to form, anomalies to occur, and especially within many environmental and physical factors. This new consciousness platform requires specific physiological adaptations to the genetic changes that are occurring in the human race. In order to acclimate to the new set of conditions and energies that we are being further exposed to, as they are related to the human evolutionary process. Those awakening now are in the forefront of embodying these adaptations as they are the consciousness bridge spanning into the future birth cycle of the next root race of the human species. Root race seedings. The following is the root race seeding cycles, which describes the evolutionary time cycle and the root race associated with each time cycle during the planet Earth's evolution. We are in the fifth root race cycle and are here to heal and unite with all of our fragments from the previous root race cycles and as well to activate our fourth DNA strand. Seeding to the 3D Earth. The Syrians from Sirius B hosted this seeding of the human race. Eye of Horus, a stellar bridge used to bring in consciousness to incarnate. Root races 3 through 5 attempted to seed onto the earth. Melchizedek race families came in to help to repair genetic digression around this time, approximately 35,000 years ago. Violations by the incarnated Melchizedeks using earth portals incorrectly around the Egyptian dynastic timeline unleashed a lot of dark energies onto the earth's surface. This was not proposed by the Melchizedeks, as it was a part of their intended plan to integrate the Anu template from the damaged planetary fields that had resulted from the Atlantean explosions of the grids during the previous root race seeding. Unfortunately, there were some miscalculations and other genetic issues that raised a serious breach of planetary Templar security. The Templar is the Stargate portal system of the Earth that opens into the 12th dimensional levels of the universal time matrix. For this violation, seals were placed on the 6th and 7th dimensional access in our DNA coding, preventing physical ascension out of this realm. This became a curse on humans as it was genetically inbred through the generations. When the human consciousness was no longer a threat to the planet's or universal security, the seals were lifted and assistance was given to release them. During the end of the second seeding, the Anunnaki started breeding with humans, and a race called Nephilim was created. This was not agreed upon to genetically tamper with the human race, and the Elohim would not let this race walk or be on the earth. This created a conflict, and another big war broke out. This created the war with the Anunnaki and other Anunnaki sympathizers, such as the Dracs and Syrian Anunnaki hybrids. The war ended this seeding attempt, and we reorganized for the next evolutionary round. Seeding number 3, 3D Earth. We are in the fifth root race cycle and are here to heal and unite with all of our fragments from the previous root race cycles, as well as to activate our fourth DNA strand. So that's us, I guess, in seeding 3. That's the Earth now. Elohim. It is a Hebrew word meaning gods. Although the word is plural in form, in the Hebrew Bible it usually refers to a single deity, particularly, but not always, the God of Israel. At other times, it refers to deities in the plural. Some of the Elohim groups digressed into the control of the alien hybridization agendas with the invading NAA groups of Belial entities and Tothian Luciferians, and became integrated with the fallen AI hybridized entities that served the Luciferian covenant. The Elohim references that are made in the Torah, Talmudic literature, or in the esoteric Kabbalah teachings in the Jewish religion or sourced from the fallen Elohim hybrids integrated with Belial and Luciferian factions that gave the artificial tree of life or base 10 math Sephiroth teachings to the Semitic races in the Middle East. This was information warfare in order to confound original angelic human language, to suppress the solar feminine, and replace the original cosmic Christos dragon teachings that were being protected by the remaining Hyperboreans that came to Earth after the Gaian Wars. The remaining Hyperboreans that came to the planet Earth to serve the Christos mission are the Celtic Druid Grail bloodlines or Celtic Essenes. They were hunted down and massacred by these fallen Elohim groups in order for them to act as the impostor overlords of the so-called chosen people, the God of the Israelites, and to oversee the seeding and indoctrination of this new Antichrist alien agenda. The fall of Merida and Atlantis, the Ayani massacre of Mua in Kauai, and subsequent events leading up to the Atlantean cataclysm, some of the Elohim, Anu, Melchizedek groups digressed into the control of the alien hybridization agendas and the invading Belial entities and Tothian Luciferians. These are impostor Elohim groups that have been exerting their control over the land of Canaan with the blood sacrifice of the Christos races. The Recon of Death and the Phantom Black Heaven. Guardians are reviewing the artificial layers of Wisan invader constructs that were built as reversal cloned structures to house the impostor Elohim group, and that has been identified in the Phantom Matrix planes linked to the 11th dimensional Universal Gate of Avion and the 12th dimensional Universal Gate of Arametina, as these areas are under the direct supervision of the cosmic Elohai Emerald Guardians reconstruction projects. This brought on another discovery, which is the hidden areas of the Phantom Black Heaven, the promised lands of inverted Antichrist realities designed for the highest ranks of the Black Sun's army generals that have decimated as many Christos races as possible during their active tenure to conquer Earth. Nephilim are genetic hybrids between Orphan and reptilians, and they are easy to possess and mind control, and that's good for the NAA, or the negative alien agenda. During the end of the second seeding, the Anunnaki started breeding with humans, and a race called Nephilim was created. Many of these Nephilim creations were from kidnapping, rape, and forced breeding with the human women of the earth. This was not agreed upon, not to genetically tamper with the human race, and the Elohim would not let this race walk or be on earth. This created a conflict, and another war broke out. This created the war with the Anunnaki and other Anunnaki sympathizers such as the Dracs and Syrian Anunnaki hybrids. The Nephilim Wars ended this seeding attempt, and we reorganized for the next evolutionary round, where the Luciferian rebellion occurred in the Atlantean cataclysm timelines. Many of the Nephilim were destroyed on Earth, and their fragmented consciousness became enmeshed with the lower demonic spirits of the dense levels of Earth matter. Some of these entities bound to the Earth become known as the Watchers. The Watchers. It says, many of the Nephilim were destroyed on the earth during the Nephilim Wars, and their fragmented consciousness became enmeshed with the lower demonic spirits of the dense levels of earth matter. Some of these entities bound to the earth become known as Watchers, and they are comprised of both Nephilim and fallen angelic fragments, which descended to become ruled over by the hierarchies of the Belial and Baal entities on the earth. Over time, these fragments evolved into many lower spirit hierarchies of entities, and they're trapped within the earth fields, unable to evolve, transit, or heal. The Watchers include consciousness fragments that have digressed into Jinni or Jinn, which is a shadow creature no longer human. It retains a counterbalance in the higher spirit realms of which it has been disconnected. NRG. The NRG is the Nephilim Reversal Grids. The headquarter hub is in Stonehenge area, and it acts as a final collection point by directing huge amounts of power through massive amounts of collected or stolen life force from multiple subsidiaries all over the planetary globe and the planetary grid lines. Known subsidiary networks exist at every planetary gate or stargate. Michael Mary Reversal in Calgary, the Cathar grid lines in southern France, the false dragon snake networks of Asia. All of this is collected and returned to the United Kingdom for distribution off planet to the Orion Group and Anunnaki contingents. All are collected and returned to the United Kingdom for distribution off planet to the Orion Group and Anunnaki contingents. The fallen angelics. Created by the fallen angelics to counteract and destroy the Christiatic human guardian race for control and domination. Well, that's it for this one, folks. Stay tuned for the next one. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful day. Namaste.